welcome to another video. So doing something kind of new today. Basically, I'm going to take you guys through a recent criterium I did at Golden. So this was the first criterium of the year, and it was I think it was the first weekend that there's been a USA Cycling sanctioned event, definitely in Colorado of the year also. So this was kind of exciting. It was like a first test for just kind of what the rest of the season will hold and how events might be, kind of how they'll go about. So they were taking interesting protocols where, although you see some people on the side right here, there actually wasn't. As soon as you were done racing, you were asked to leave immediately, just to prevent people from crowding. Which, not that there's ever an overly large amount of people that watch these local races, but it still was kind of sucky. Especially the P12 race. Those are genuinely great to watch. I got kind of lucky where Brittany was the race photographer, so we were able to stick around and take some photos of all of them. So I kind of wanted to just walk you guys through and talk about a couple of just 5 tips and tricks, just that if you're coming to your first criterium, just these are things you can do to just kind of make it go a little bit more smoothly and have the time a little bit more enjoyable. And if you're watching from this beginning here, it's the first tip is really to be sure you get to the start early so you can start on the front line. It just makes it a lot less stressful when you're starting, because you can then start, you can get on the wheel you want, and then you can choose to let yourself slide back. For me, this is something that I value a lot. I don't like starting in the back because I find it hard to get to the front then. And on the first lap of the race, it's always a little tricky. Just you never quite know how people are going to react going around the first corner. We're coming to the first corner right now, and I actually take this line really badly. I don't know what I did, or if these junior kids just really love to throw it in or what, but for some reason I just completely let the gap go, and then I have to freaking surge back on. But it's that's all the bad stuff that happened to me just because of that. But you never know what's happening behind you, where there's 50 people fighting for that corner. So it's just a little bit better just to stay up near the front. You can see up a little bit that some guy took a flyer. I don't really think that people will take flyers. People will attack from the gun. It really isn't something that I would say needs a lot of stress. 99.9% of the time, these don't work. And as you can see, this Boulder Junior team was rather motivated going into this race. They really wanted to keep the race together. I'm not entirely sure what their overall plan was, because what you'll kind of see is that everyone on the junior team would go to the front and work. Normally what you'll see is that if it's a 5-man squad, 4 people are going to work really hard, and then the sprinter will sit back until the final lap. But they were just motivated to work. But for all I know, their DS or their coach might have been like, hey, look, this is just here for training. You guys just need to go to the front and ride as hard as you can to get a good workout in. So you never really know. It looks like we're about to swallow up this escapee, which is good. So going through the first lap right here. So then this is just kind of leads into another thing, that before the race, it's good to just ride the course a couple times and just mentally note, all right, this corner is going to be important, this corner is going to be important. You're not going to be able to simulate the race, really, because the reality is you're not going to be able to go at the same speed that the race is going when you're just warming up. I mean, even right now, we're going 24 miles an hour on an uphill, which you're just not going to do in a practice lap. You're not going to kill yourself to try and go the entire speed of the race for it. So going around corners isn't going to feel the same, but just knowing in your head, all right, this corner is relatively, sharp, and I want to be in a good position for it, or I know that even at a good speed, this is the way I like to take the corner, will just kind of lead to you being more relaxed. So here's the junior team all trying to go into the front. I don't know what I'm doing right here. I think I might have just been a little uncomfortable and wanted to be at the front and just didn't want to be bumping shoulders to start, because I'm just gobbling up that wind right now, which is not smart at all. I don't know why I was so interested in having so much wind. I think I finally at this corner realized it and finally like sat up to let people close this gap for me so I could slide back a little bit without being in the bunch. Yeah, there's the rest of the junior boys. Looks like Primal Audi going in the train. So what you're seeing right here is that there's 4 guys from this junior team up at the front, and this I guess is a debatable one. I'm personally of the opinion that look, these 4 guys are motivated and they want to ride the front, and you might as well just let them. They want to ride the front. Unless you're attacking, there's really no point of going up there and getting in the middle of their train, like this Primal guy is and this other guy in the black kit. It looks like just let them sit on each other's wheel, let them roll at the front. It looks like this this Primal guy and this other one took a flyer on the downhill, which generally you don't want to attack. Also during these races on a fast section, you want to attack where there's a change of speed. So if it's going from fast to slow, you want to attack right as it goes into the slow part. Looks like we shut this one down pretty quickly. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of that one was. But then I'm getting on this guy's wheel. This guy was crazy strong, so I just kind of had him mentally marked in my mind. Anyone who rocks up in a skin suit with no logos on it, they're the real deal. So he's going. I think he saw I was there. I kind of just rolled through and just let the group catch us. I wasn't really I could tell pretty early on in this race that the average speed was just going to be too high for a breakaway. So I just wanted to kind of weld it together and let it stay together. I wasn't really motivated to go out and just ride everything I had. Although I'm putting in some watts right here for some reason. I'm sliding back in. You see the junior team's back on the front. They're doing their thing. They're enjoying their time at the front. Coming back around. So this guy's getting narrow too. It's impressive. But with the trains, honestly, I think to a point it's just out of respect. Respect the train. Respect this team is there to do a job. You as an individual rider getting into the middle of their train and fighting their riders to be in it just doesn't really help you at all, and it just kind of upsets them. So just out of respect, let them do them. I'm coming through here for some reason. I don't know why I'm pulling through. Okay, I think I probably just wanted to pull through so I could get a line into this race, but there's a person on my inside right here. Okay, well, I take this corner decently. So that was a decent job, and this is the same junior. Oh, what am I doing? Why am I... Okay, here's another guy. Okay, well, I don't know why I just endeared myself to spending so much time in the front wasting energy. I don't know what was going on with me. Going through... So this little chicane was quite fun. It was nice and flowy, but it was like a 4-corner chicane, which was quite fun. So going through, and then this is another thing that during these races, especially crits that have so many corners. I mean, if you do the math on it, this was an arguably kind of a 6-corner crit, and then if you're doing 10 laps, all right, that's 60 turns. I bet Dirty Kansas 200 has 60 turns, so that's a lot of cornering. This was a decent position of mine, actually. I was right on this guy's wheel, and he decided just to cover this. Primal Audi, they always have a lot of guys, but they never ride as a team at these local events. It's kind of like this guy was really strong, but it didn't. The team wasn't really there to help or show that they had any sort of clear plan or reason for what they were trying to achieve. And so that's another thing going into these races. Especially if you're with a team, have a plan for one thing. If you're a team of 4 guys, all right, pick. Are we going to sit at the front and try and get one of our guys into the breakaway, and then we're going to sit up and peace out and let them ride the breakaway and make other teams chase, or are we going to ride the front really hard and we're going to have a sprinter sit on? Have a plan and then stick to it. Don't just keep throwing these weird, efforts just at the wall, just hoping that, all right, well, maybe something crazy will happen and this effort will pan out for me, because that generally isn't a reliable kind of tactic. You want something a little bit better. So just, pick a plan, pick a guy to ride for, and then stick to that plan. Would definitely be my kind of advice for a team. There's going to be one of you guys who's going to be the strongest or the most suited for one thing. So riding for him is a much better chance than having your 4 guys all kind of ride for themselves, and then it just kind of ends up hurting each other. Here I am again, just hovering at the front, wasting energy. The amount of energy I wasted in this race just sitting at the front doing efforts was ridiculous. So kind of like I've been saying, this is another good example of just me. I'm not even on this guy's wheel. I'm just kind of hovering at the front. And it's kind of appalling just watching myself right now. Like, what am I doing? Am I just deliberately just trying to hurt myself? Do I even close? Okay, I guess this guy sits up, thankfully for me, right here, so I can get back on his wheel going into the corner. Yeah, okay, good. So, kind of going back into this energy saving topic, is a good thing in these corners that will just kind of help you throughout the whole race is just staying relaxed. If you can just stay calm and relaxed in these corners, it will kind of trickle down to a lot of other things. If you're more relaxed in the corner, you're not as stiff, you're not going to brake irrationally, you'll be able to take better lines. And then by doing that, you're just going to save a little bit of energy in every single corner, which, as we just showed, 60 corners over the course of this 40 minutes is a lot of time to just, that you can stay relaxed and calm. And then, with that, eventually when you get even more relaxed and you kind of can fall back a couple more wheels, which hopefully I eventually do here, you'll be able to stay even more relaxed when you're behind people getting more draft, which is always good. People loved in this race to attack on that downhill section into this really, it's almost a really long U-turn, but the way you take it would kind of be 2 small corners. I think that we were actually going for a preem right here. Let's see who got it. Oh, did this junior kid get it? I think this was $10. Oh, I can't tell who got it. That was a good sprint, though. This junior kid's coming up to the front to shut down his teammate in the breakaway. This was we were going fast. This is 30 miles an hour up a little hill. That's impressive that we were going like this. I think this is one of the moments where if a breakaway does go, even on a really fast course, this is a moment where it can happen, because what happens is, the race will speed up a lot going into preem laps, and then not everyone in the race wants to contest a preem. I think that was, a $10 preem. So then there's generally a slowing of the race that happens right after. So what will happen is either, the people that sprinted for it will have a gap and then they can roll together to start a breakaway, or if you're close enough to the front, you can attack right as they're about to be swallowed up. So finally I'm sliding back in the race and deciding not to hang out in the wind so much. Just sliding back. There's a couple of good rollers here, which is good fun. Especially if you know how to, with these rollers, you're going really fast, so if you can see the roller coming up and just put in a couple hard pedal strokes beforehand, you'll just kind of keep your momentum up going over it. Oh, these are some weird... We love to swing out. I don't know what this field really liked to swing really far wide out of that corner. And then we're all coming on the inside for this next right-hander. So this is just us, and this was just kind of the story of the race. We would stay together. We would stay kind of bunched up because the race was just too quick for anyone to stay off the front. Looks like there's someone off the front right now taking a bit of a flyer, but you're not going to be able to hold this field off alone. You would need, 3-4 guys, especially people from each team getting representation. So we set up a lot here, and I'm able to just kind of roll, slide back up to the front. Barely not even pedaling my bike, just good positioning. Thankfully, I don't go all the way to the front. I can actually sit in this draft a little bit. It looks like there's 2 guys off the front going into this little corner. So with these corners, there also is, as the race goes on, and especially into the last lap, you'll see a lot of guys that just kind of dive bomb. And throughout crits overall, you have to manage your risk. You need to kind of assess, all right, you know, what's the risk reward of all these situations? You know, what's the risk reward of sitting in the middle of the field? All right, you're saving a lot of energy, but the risk is, all right, you're in a bigger chance of someone coming across and cutting your wheel. Or you could, say, all right, what's the risk reward of sitting up at the front? All right, cool, you're getting the line you choose and you're safer, but you're expending a lot of energy, like I was doing earlier. And same with corners. What's the risk of reward of dive bombing a corner? All right, you might get a gap, you might put pressure on the field. The risk is obviously that you crash, or that midway through the corner you realize you're going way too fast and you hit your brakes and you just scrub your own speed off. I think at this point I was just like, I knew that this wasn't going to go anywhere, so I was just like, I'm not going to be the one who freaking closes this. Someone else close this. Sorry if the audio is kind of a little weird. We have to kind of do this breakdown in clips. The GoPro, instead of obviously seeing one 28-minute clip, it's like 5 or so smaller clips. So I have to kind of keep starting and stopping. So it looks like I finally moved back a little bit in the field, and I'm not burning obsessive energy. But you can even here just see, like, look, I'm doing 0 watts. The people at the front are doing much more watts. And I'm finally starting to kind of now that the race has gone on a little bit, we've taken these corners, I'm finally doing them a little bit better. I'm finally taking lines and holding them a lot better and holding my momentum, which you'll see, everyone in the race will get better at these lines. Just the more you do them and the more you get comfortable at the speed that you're doing them, you can just take them even better. It's quite crowded back here. So I think at this point I'm probably a little bit further back than I want to be. So I'm going to wait till this, I'm going to stay up here. There's no way to really move up in these corners. At least I'm not skilled enough to, so I wait till this corner goes, push into the inside, and now everyone's just going to sit up right now, and now I'm going to just float towards the front. Just passing one person after the other, and, passing 30 people right here. And then boom, at the front, pushing 150 watts. What's everyone up to here? Everyone's just chilling. For some reason, I'm like, oh, cool, everyone's chilling. I'm going to just ride at the front for no freaking reason. Which is the next kind of tidbit I want to throw out is don't ride for no reason. I've been doing this the entire race, and I don't know why I insisted on hurting myself. Honestly, this is just hard for me to watch because I'm just riding at the front for no reason. I'm not really gaining anything by this effort. I'm just kind of riding my tempo, just kind of clicking it off on this little uphill, waiting for someone else to do something. I mean, I think my best excuse is just that I must have just been crazy nervous for crashes because I am spending entirely too much time at the front. I mean, I've been at the front here. I don't know what the field was doing, as I'm not going that hard. And then, there we go. Finally, some people freaking attacked after I sat there. Now, hopefully I slide back on a couple people's wheels. Here's that Primal Audi guy. This guy, it's impressive how he can go that hard with that fast of a cadence. Got this guy with the sweet ASOS kit on. So yeah, look at these two guys off the front. Beautiful. Going around. I'm not sure what other teams there were in this race. Other than the junior team and this Primal Audi team. I mean, the kind of reality is that the whole team thing doesn't totally exist below the pro level, or at least you'll see teams in Cat 1-2 races, but they're not. There's a big difference between a pro team, just from a pure tactics and being able to ride as a team standpoint. There's a big difference between, every level. Like obviously World Tour teams, day in, day out practice as a team. They understand exactly how to ride as a team, and then just every level below it just gets a little bit worse. So, when you get down to these Cat 3 races, teams are just kind of, they're not drilled, they're not understanding of what to ride for the team. And then it just kind of leads to a little bit more chaos, because when you have teams that are organized, you're not going to have as much just kind of random scramble. I did a good job moving up there. and then you'll also see like some of the logic with, I think in the Cat 1-2 race with this one was interesting, is a break went almost instantly. I felt bad for this team actually, because this break of 7 guys went, and all the players were there. This break was going to last. I think it was George Stimson and Kobe Lang and Greg Daniels. Like, it was clearly going to last. And Primal Audi actually have or at least for this year, I think they invested quite heavily in having a strong Cat 1 crit squad for the USA Crit Series. And they had a guy make that breakaway, so it was golden. They could all sit back in the break, or sit back in the field and relax, sit Mai Tais, just do whatever they want. Oh, this guy just took a flyer. And then what happened was that their guy in the break got dropped from the break. And that's like a nightmare, because all of a sudden their entire team had just been sitting in the back, letting the gap go, because what are the chances that he's going to get dropped? So all of a sudden, they see him coming back to the break. They have no one in the break. The break's not coming back. So the entire team's race is kind of exploding. And all these teammates then, all of a sudden now have a massive job on their hand. Their strongest guy that was in the break is now cooked and back in the field. All right, so we're coming in here. So that guy, he was able to get a great lead off of that corner. It looks like he's about to bridge to another guy. And this just comes down to if you don't know the course and you don't weren't able to read the race, that there's no way that they're going to be able to last. The alarm bells might be going off for you. But for me, this is just, all right, well, now I'm going to just kind of go backwards, because these guys are going to chase this down. And this junior team is hauling it at the front. They got their squad lined out, chasing these scattered 1-2 guys down. Yeah, we're rolling here too. Going into this backside, yeah, just there really wasn't anything on this course that's going to favor a breakaway more than it's going to favor the field. You'll do some races where it's a lot tighter, where you only have one lane and it's 90-degree corners and you don't have room for more than one rider to take the corner. Like on this corner here, we're going to take this corner 3 wide. And that's just not... That just shows how fast the corner is and how safe the corner is. But on a 1-lane 4-corner box crit, there's only room for one rider to go through the corner at a time. So if you're in the breakaway, you're at an advantage. You can take the perfect line with low stress, and you're not going to lose any momentum in or out. Got a little tight in the back there. Looks like, so even though they're chasing, it's just, this is really the speed isn't any different than it was before. It's just the average speed was so high. It looks like we've already caught the guy that took a flyer in that corner, and we're back on. And I think this kind of comes down to my last real tidbit point, which is, understand what you are and understand what you're not. We all watch, bike races and cycling videos and go for our ride with our friends, and sometimes we can get this kind of thought in our head of, oh, I'm a sprinter, when in reality we're a 50-kilo climber, because we get this notion. So knowing, all right, this is what I am, this is what I'm not, this is what I'm not, really is helpful going into these races, knowing, all right, I'm not the kind of person who's going to be able to ride a breakaway, because that's just not my strength. And then knowing that, and then choosing not to get in the breakaway, and then riding the race, in the back, knowing, all right, I have really good handling and I have really good sprint, but I don't have good sustainable power. It just, overall is going to lend to you having better race results. Like for me, nothing about a crit suits me. I'm not a powerful guy. I'm not someone who really does well over 40 minutes. I'm just getting warmed up by the end of these races. I'm much more suited to multi-hour races. 3 hours plus is where I really start to come into my own, where fitness plays a lot more of a factor. And I, in no way, shape, or form, can sprint. Looks like we finally caught the last of that breakaway. So for me, that's one thing that it just kind of sucks when you go into these races knowing, all right, there's very little situations where this plays out in my favor. But, there's plenty of people here that are incredibly gifted and can go, all right, well, for 40 minutes, I'm golden. I, have power for days, and I have a sprint that can rip the legs off of anyone, and then this is a perfect setup for them, and that's just how they are. So for me, going into this knowing, all right, I'm not that guy. I just kind of need to be here as a fitness gainer. I need to ride this smartly. I need to be incredibly safe. But I'm here more importantly to gain fitness. Is just kind of how I was able to ride this. And yes, there's scenarios that my coach and I lined out with that kind of led to me having a good result. But after the first lap of the race, it was pretty clear that none of those were going to be an option for me. Weirdly enough, though, this Cat 3 race was the only race, I think, of the entire day that played out where the whole field just rode really fast the entire time and no one stayed away up front. Almost all the other fields blew apart, even the Cat 1-2 race. I mean, the Cat 1-2 Pro race came down to just 6 or 7 spread out fields. All right, well, that's the end of my footage, so that's all I've got. But thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed this. I hope to get the GoPro working the full time next time. If you guys like these videos, please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't to the channel, and have a great day.